And here I am, so honored to be in front of you, my friends, again. With an open heart, I listen to divine guidance to make my world beautiful. This has been my intention within our Divine Essence group for quite a number of months now. And like all intentions, it's kind of just words at first, until you really start to sink into it. And sinking into it happened really well as I aligned with the knowledge that making the world beautiful is really my purpose here. So with an open heart, I listen to divine guidance to make my world beautiful. Makes it even more meaningful. I really want to be listening for that divine guidance so that I can be on purpose. When I make my world beautiful, I make your world beautiful, because we are all one. And whatever I do to emphasize beauty in my world is going to emphasize beauty in the world overall. Incredible. And my life has changed so much since I have been focusing on that intention. So much. I can hardly put words to it. And a lot of it is just in little tiny ways. But those little tiny ways really add up to make such a huge difference. Katie mentioned guidance being about openness and surrender. And I'm like, well, there's half my talk. Because absolutely, you have to be open to hear that divine guidance. Absolutely open. But what does that actually mean? What does it really mean? We say that so lightly. I'm going to live with an open heart. Maybe we know what that means more than the average person out there knows. But it really means being in that space of acceptance that what is. It's about being in that space of recognizing that I am a unique creation of the higher power, Soa, source of all, God, whatever name you give it. And so are you, and you, and you, and you, and we all are. And when we have that awareness that we actually are all one with that higher power source, then we can have more compassion and love for ourselves and for others around us. Even when they're behaving badly, we see the truth of who they really are. They are that love. And when we can remain open to that, life gets easier. Now, it's easy to say that, maybe not necessarily always so easy to do that. I could probably think of a few times this weekend. My beautiful husband, who's an amazing man, and I were staying at his dad's place for the weekend. We had a celebration of life to go to on Friday. We said goodbye to a high school friend. And then, of course, Friday night, it was Unity Conference. Saturday, it was Unity Conference. And in all of that, was my life perfect? Did everything go exactly the way it was supposed to? No. Did some things happen that made me want to go, wee, 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 wee. Did I forget that that person who said that to me is pure love at their true essence, and what they said is just some words that came out of their mouth, is not an expression of who they are? Did I forget? Yes. But did I come back to remembering more quickly? Yes. Because I'm living in a more open place. I'm listening to that divine guidance that reminds me, we are one. We are one. See them as who they really are. Yeah. See them as who they really are. And surrender. I was going to grab it off my bookshelf. I have one of these little tiny cards. I don't know if you've ever seen like angel cards. The very first year we moved to Calgary, I went to an event that this woman hosted in her home. I didn't find out till about 3/4 of the way through the event that she was a person that was diagnosed with terminal cancer, And she just wanted to gather people together and be in that space of love as much as she could be through whatever was left of her life. And she had bought a bunch of these little angel cards and put them in a bowl. And I've been to lots of places where you get to pull a card with a little message. But this was a little different. She knew she wasn't going to be needing them for a whole lot longer, so she actually encouraged us to take our message home instead of put it back in the basket after we read it. And my little card was a little angel. Surrender! I have had a love-hate relationship with that little card for 29 years now. Surrender. Wave the white flag. Wait, no, that's not what it means. Surrender. Okay, I give up. Oh, no, that's not what it means. Surrender. I will just let things be the way they are. But I think it would be so much better if it was just this. It can be really hard to surrender, especially when you have a naturally controlling aspect within your personality. Me? Never. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My family went so far as to refer to me as a bully when I was a kid. That's how much I always wanted to encourage and enforce people to take my point of view. So surrendering that need to control, surrendering that need to make everybody agree with what I think has been a lifelong lesson. And then once that level of surrender gets somewhere, and I got to some place of being able to let go of that need to control and that need to put my 2 cents in all the time. Yes, honey, I still slip up and I still have to put in my 2 cents, but not all the time. The surrender has come to a deeper level. It's waking up in the morning, and before I even get out of bed, saying, "Good morning, Soa. Here I am. What am I here to do today?" Before I even get out of bed. And then I don't even wait for an answer. Here's the secret to letting go of frustration. Let go of the expectation for the outcome. I made myself available. I said, let me know what I'm to do today. And then I just get up and I go about doing my morning rituals and all of my things. And I finally come to the place of using that power of faith, to have faith that that answer is going to be delivered to me in the right way at the right time, that I can hear it and that I can act upon it. Before, I used to do that thing. Okay, I'm awake, it's 4 a.m., I should just get up and go and meditate. And so I go to my healing room and I sit on the cushion and I get adjusted and I adjust again and I readjust again and I think, okay, breathe, yeah. I wonder what, oh yeah, okay, come back, breathe. You know what I really should be thinking about doing? No, you're not supposed to be thinking. Yeah, exercise and frustration, quiet the mind, meditation, quiet the mind. That doesn't happen for women. Have you ever noticed that all of the meditation teachers throughout history were male monks who lived in caves all by themselves? And there was nobody nagging at them, pulling at their skirts, saying, hey, mommy, or honey, I need a Band-Aid, or honey, do you know where this is? Or they were people that lived on their own and people brought them food to their cave and they could just sit and be quiet. But that's not our life. It's not the reality. I've come to understand that meditation simply means quieting the mind. It doesn't necessarily mean trying to sit still in silence. It means keeping that constant chatter from constantly chattering. And for the feminine aspect that is within all of us, we've heard Susan Cullen talk about this a lot. We've heard other speakers talk about how we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. So the feminine within us is movement and flow and creativity, and it wants to create. For people like Neil, who is a writer, who lets stories flow out of his body, he may not like to admit that, but he's in his feminine when he is in that creative mode, because it is the feminine energy that is the creativity. I mean, think about it. We have wombs, we give birth to babies, we create life here. We are creators, and we create everything from ideas to arranging the place beautifully, thank you, Katie, to writing music. Yes, Anthony, that is your beautiful feminine coming to play. So quieting the mind can come from things like dance, my true love. It can come from coloring. It can come from creating artwork. It can come from so many moving sources. And the last speaker yesterday at the conference actually spent close to an hour offering us little tiny exercises, little tiny yogic exercises that she said, sadly, you will never see in a Western yoga class, because they're the true nature of yoga, quieting the mind. And she had us do little tiny things like sitting in your chair. Everybody just sit in your chair with your feet flat on the floor, and put all of your fingertips together like this. And just rest your forearms in your lap and breathe. And then let your body sway side to side, side to side, side to side. That's all. Just being aware that your fingertips are touching and your body is moving. And the energy flow that may have been stagnant just a few moments ago is now moving through your body. And keep breathing nice and deeply into your belly. And she had us do this for a much longer period of time. But I wonder, even in that short little space, that short little example of doing this exercise, how many of you actually did feel a calming shift within yourself? Yes? Yeah, quite a number of hands. It's that movement, that moving of energy that gives the mind something to focus on besides the chatter that's going on. This can help to hear the divine guidance, because if this is chattering away, we're not going to hear the higher power speaking to our heart. This overtalks that very easily, very loudly. But if we can quiet that enough to hear the heart, and there are these little things that we can do to do that. So we want to be open. We want to completely surrender. Surrender our will of what we think we're supposed to do or how we think things are supposed to turn out, and allow for divine guidance to show the way. There are so many examples on a daily basis of divine guidance for myself that at some point I might even begin to question, well, is that really divine guidance? Like, come on, every time you get some idea like, oh, do this now. Really? Is that divine guidance? Here's how I answer that question. How did it make me feel to do that? If the thing that I'm guided to do makes me feel wonderful, you can rest assured that's a divinely guided message. If I get this idea that I have to do something and it's a slog and a grind and I'm not happy about it, chances are it's an ego thought that I should do this, or it would be smart to do this, or people expect me to do this. Listening to the heart is about listening to how it feels. So let's take a moment now and listen to how it feels to be open and listening to the divine. We'll sing I Surrender. How perfect. surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. And as we surrender to this moment in time, surrendering to awareness of the breath that we take in that brings us new life, and the exhale that can release and let go of all negative, toxic, less than life enhancing energy. Breathing in new life, new energy, and releasing whatever no longer serves us in some positive life enhancing way. And your body may begin to sway or rock back and forth, bringing you into that bodily awareness of that divine love light energy that is flowing through your body, flowing through your mind and your heart, reminding you of the truth of who you are and what you have to bring to the world. Listening to the heart. What does it tell you? What is yours to do today? Is the message to smile at strangers more often? To offer little acts of kindness? To listen more carefully to the little nudge that says, take that set of keys with you too, even though you don't think you need them. Listen to the little nudge that says, register for that program, even though you don't know where the money would come from. Listen to the little voice that tells you that you are so worthy of love just because you are you. Feeling that divine love that is all around you, flowing through you, flowing to you and through you. Listen to the message. What is yours to do? And be willing to let go of the outcome. Simply surrender the question to the higher power. And use your power of faith to know that the answer will come in the right time, in the right place. And use the power of strength to know that you will have the strength to act upon that guidance when the time comes. And know that you have the power of wisdom to discern whether this is truly a message for your heart or your head telling you what you should do. Knowing that God is all around everything and everywhere, and that you are made of that same love light energy as God. You can step confidently into this day, this week, this month, this year, in fact, into the rest of your life, knowing that who you are makes a difference. And we surrender once again to the voice of the heart. I surrender. I trust and I know